Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the HOU Bullcast Show, branded by the JDW Sports Talk Show Network on YouTube, who you can look up. He's the one that brought me on. He's the one that helped me create this channel, and I'm so grateful to him once again. Thank y'all for coming in to watch this video. Thank y'all for the last video, the first episode of this channel. Like, I literally was so happy to see the amount of views, the amount of likes for just the first episode, from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok to any other social media website I was able to share it on. I'm so grateful for the love it was shown, because I didn't expect the amount of love that was shown. So I'm so grateful to all y'all, and I'm gonna bring so much more content, especially Texans content, any NFL content you want me to bring on, and I will speak about it. Especially tomorrow, I plan on bringing the weekly picks of every other game, picking who I think will win, and just fun topics for y'all to listen to, because I'm so grateful for y'all to come into the first episode a few days ago and listen to it yourself. So I want to do as much as I can for more content for y'all to listen to, for y'all to love, for y'all to stay subscribed to me. And so I'm grateful to all y'all, so thank you very much. But today we're getting into it. We're getting into what has happened today, that we're going to get into the upcoming Titans game on Sunday at 12 o'clock here in Houston. But we're going to go ahead and go over today's major news. Honestly, it was major news for us as Texan fans, which was Houston Texans have released safety CJ Gardner Johnson. And at the time, in the moment, I was at work, I was checking Twitter, I was checking Discord, Texas Discord, Sauce Sports Discord. Shout out to my boys over there. They were all confused, like, what is happening? Why is CJ Gardner Johnson released? Like, what happened? And more reports are coming out. What was happening? And per report from a statement I read was, among the issues that arose with CJ Gardner Johnson, per sources, criticism of teammates in the secondary, perhaps maybe the how can I say, the bad play from somebody like Kalen Bullock, whose vision has gotten very suspect from his rookie year. His rookie year, he was doing well, but was having rookie mistakes. But this year, Kalen Bullock's vision hasn't been great. He's been giving up plays, say, from Jalen Petrie with his zone coverage. He's not that great at zone coverage, especially getting put at nickel. But Jalen Petrie is Jalen Petrie. Another reason is including the size of one player's contract. Now, that's the part that confused me, because now it's like, so he's jealous of another player's contract. Say Jalen Petrie, he was extended this offseason. Stingley, he was given his contract this offseason. So if he wants to talk about somebody's contract being bigger than him feeling like he deserves more, dude, you were traded by your previous team, the Eagles, to us. It's because the Eagles didn't want to give you a contract, so they decided, hey, let's trade him so we don't have to give him an extension, because we have a core of young guys on our secondary that just won the Super Bowl. So CJ, you're a veteran, you're getting older, so we're going to pull the plug and just say thank you for the ring. We're going to move on from you. And with that trade, they acquired Kenyon Green, who they cut after a couple weeks because Kenyon was just overall bust. From a first round pick from us, traded to Eagles for CJ Gardner Johnson, pretty much not even progressing his play style, nothing like that. Even the Eagles offensive line coach, who is a great offensive line coach, he, I guess, couldn't coach him well, so they decided to cut Kenyon. But aside from Kenyon, we're going back to CJ Gardner Johnson. You were a part of this team, and we honestly believed that you were going to be a part of this team for a while longer than just 3 games. You looked great in the offseason. You were a vocal leader in the offseason. We thought, hey, the secondary would be something great. But honestly, the secondary has been average at best. And the reason is because somebody like CJ Gardner Johnson has been getting beat on zone on crossing routes. And from what I've seen from on Twitter, per DJ being Iemi, he was posting videos from the Jaguars game, from the Rams game, showing blown coverages from CJ Gardner Johnson, and you could just tell from the play that he just was going his own route with where he wanted to go, in which they gave up big plays to, like the pass to Brian Thomas Jr. that was the play before that the Jaguars got the touchdown to take the lead in front of us this past week. And the play against the Rams was, I believe it was a pass to Puka. It was either Puka or I don't know. I gotta go check again. But it was another play where they were in zone. CJ Gardner Johnson was, and all these plays is because CJ Gardner Johnson is steadily reading the quarterback's eyes instead of checking to see where his receiver is at as he plays safety. So I can see where his play is not even great. His play style is diminished from his Eagles time. He's honestly like reminiscent. The way this whole thing is playing out, he's reminiscent of an Ed Reed 2.0 for us. The way Ed Reed stole money from us, and that's pretty much what it is with CJ Gardner Johnson now that he's out the building. Yesterday, what I seen from as well on Twitter from DJ Bienemy and Houston Streston's tweet that was retweeted and everything. D'Amico's press conference yesterday. He was asked yesterday about communications issues with secondary, and D'Amico quoted, and I quote, "It's been great. We see that. We got to make some adjustments. They're to make." Oh, hold on. It's not been okay. My bad. I read that so wrong. It's not been great. We see that. We got to make some adjustments that there to make sure we get it corrected. So plays, as I said, from CJ Gardner Johnson, especially somebody like Kalen Bullock as well. The safeties, they have not been doing a good job at all these 3 games. So that is why communication adjustments and everything have been accounted for with these 3 games with this secondary, because it just can't stand the way it is. Because if the safety play stays the way it's been, we're going to get killed from any route because they can't communicate with each other. And another reason why CJ Gardner Johnson was complaining was because of his desire to blitz more, when honestly, dude, you were here to be brought as the leader for the secondary for your young guys like Kalen Bullock. When it comes to blitzes, we all know Jalen Petrie is that switchblade for us who can blitz well, who can attack the quarterback when we need him, because Jalen Petrie has learned everything from D'Amico. So CJ Gardner Johnson coming in year 1 with D'Amico, they have no chemistry together yet. So CJ, you got to know that D'Amico's not going to use you priority-wise until he feels comfortable with you, which he's way more comfortable with Jalen Petrie, who they just extended, more than you. He's comfortable with him more than you. And he was in talks in the locker room about trade requests. 3 games in, you're already talking about trade requests. Yes, I get we're 0-3. This is new to you. You were on a Super Bowl team. You're not used to this. But that mentality of, I feel it's my time to leave already after 3 games. That's just that quitter mentality. You got to cut the crap with, oh, I don't feel like I deserve to be here anymore because of who I think I am. When, dude, you were traded from the Eagles for a reason. I'm sure they could have won the Super Bowl even without you. So, cut the crap with that. But overall, I just gotta say, CJ Gardner Johnson, pretty much see you later. You weren't valuable to us. We were hoping for more from you, but there just wasn't enough from you. So overall, CJ Gardner Johnson's tenure is sort of like Stephon Diggs' tenure, where they're a vocal leader, where they got brought in for a reason. Stephon was dealt with injury, which is why it's kind of excusable, and it was only a 1-year contract. Meanwhile, CJ Gardner Johnson, it was more of vocal leader, but turned into a drama type in the locker room, to where nobody wanted to follow his word, because everybody in that locker room is so tight together that they're not going to just follow CJ Gardner Johnson. Even if he's been here for a couple months, they're not going to follow him out the door. So CJ Gardner Johnson, go do what you got to do with another team. You weren't who you were supposed to be for us this year. So see you later. The problem I have with this cut, with a lot of Texas fans as well, from my Soft Sports Discord, from Spitz, from Wise, from everybody in there, shout out to y'all, grateful for y'all. This comes back on Nick Caserio. Why? Because if we look back on it, we wasted a first-round pick on Kenyon Green. We could have drafted, I believe, Kyle Hamilton, a great safety for the Baltimore Ravens. Who knows? Paired up with Jalen Petrie. We could have still drafted Jalen Petrie. But overall, as we see now, a pure bust from Kenyon Green. He's not even on the team no more. So you go from Kenyon's struggles, trading him for CJ Gardner Johnson. Look at CJ Gardner Johnson now. He just got released from the Texans just earlier this morning. So you pretty much wasted a first round pick, and that lays on Nick Caserio. And the way things have been going, the spotlight is on Nick Caserio. And why? For this move, for the lack of offensive line moves that were made this offseason. Yeah, we got a couple guys like Cam Robinson, but look where Cam Robinson is now, on the bench. Where are a couple other guys at? Cut, released. One of them is injured. They're on the bench. Half of them are on the bench. Somebody like EJ Speed is on the practice squad. Keeping and adding guys that aren't progressing this team to be who they want to be. So we've digressed. And why is that? Because Nick Caserio doesn't know how to upgrade his offensive line. And the main reason why is they shouldn't have promoted Cole Popovich. They should have hired somebody else. They should have gone out to see, hey, let's see what offensive line coaches are out there, instead of promoting within when we had a trash-ass offensive line to begin with, So that is on Nick Caserio. And what else is on Nick Caserio? Offense is terrible. And why? Because of Nick Caley. Who hired Nick Caley? Nick Caserio. It's also on D'Amico as well, because D'Amico was in love with Nick Caley, but it's still on Nick Caserio to add the extra voice to make that move to sign Nick Caley as an offense coordinator. So Nick Caserio, you are on the hot seat. You were on the hot seat you weren't as on the hot seat last year, but the way you moved heading into this offseason, not really caring about the offensive line at all, knowing you had to protect CJ, and knowing how terrible we look in just 3 games, from the offensive line struggles to CJ's mental struggles, because you can see he is not wanting to move out of the pocket, and when he does move when he does step up, you can see he's hesitant on where he wants to go. So you've got your franchise quarterback, who doesn't look like a franchise quarterback anymore, scared, knowing that he's going to get hit in under a second or 2 seconds. Because once again, if you didn't hear me last week on the JDW Sports Talk Show, Just a Rival podcast with my boy DJ, AB Cool, I was talking about how against the Buccaneers we had 8 personnel on the line. Buccaneers had 7. It took only 2 seconds for them to get in. And what happened this week against the Jaguars? We had 7 personnel. They only brought 6. We were doing a play action pass, and not even 2 seconds in, I believe their linebacker got in real quick, already adding pressure. CJ threw it off, incompletion. So this is all based on the offensive line. No additions, no great additions, except for maybe Ariante Ursary, but he's a rookie and he's getting thrown to the fire, and you can see I'm not calling him a bust at all. He is doing what he can as a rookie on this terrible offensive line. Ed Ingram at right guard, he's doing his best. Titus, keep him at right tackle. Center Jake Andrews it's kind of like a mix up between Jake Andrews and Patterson. You don't know who's really better. They're both playing kind of like at the same level. And left guard Laken Tomlinson. Left guard is pretty much, you don't know who you're going to put out there because everybody in the left guard position suck. So, excuse me. At this position of left guard, that's your main priority. But overall, it's the whole offensive line. Like, the way we're 0-3 now, if we go 0-4 when facing the Titans, you might as well just tank. You might as well just sell. You might as well just go into the next year's draft drafting nothing but offensive linemen, especially with the first round pick that you acquire. And overall, I've already joked about it. If we somehow are this terrible and end up with the first round overall pick, I would trade back, get as much picks as you can back, go after the offensive picks you can get. But I know it's still early in the season. We're barely about to be 4 games in, so I don't want to, hit the panic button just yet, unless we lose to the Titans. Here at home especially. But the way things are going, it's not pretty. Nick Caserio, you are on the hot seat. D'Amico Ryans, you are getting there, because from year one, your attitude, when you came in year one, your attitude was awesome to see. We loved it. We wanted this for so many years from the coaches that never had that attitude. From Bill O'Brien had an attitude, but more towards the media. But from, honestly, just coaches they hired just to get to D'Amico, which was, like, as I said in the previous video, Lovie Smith, David Culley. But we loved D'Amico year one. Year two, we were like, okay, we're progressing. We want to see more. But year two was still struggling from compared to year one. Year three, it's abysmal. Like, we don't know where we're going to be at the end of the season. We don't know if we even want to talk about playoffs weeks away, about over 10 weeks away or so. But overall, it's just an ugly feeling right now as a Texan fan, especially after a cut like this of CJ Gardner Johnson, who you thought would have been on this team for longer than just 3 games. And with CJ Gardner Johnson released, we have MJ Stewart stepping up as a starter. I don't feel confident. It's MJ Stewart. He's a backup. Jimmy Ward is still dealing with his issues with his case, so we don't know when he'll come back. Coming back wise, we don't know any word with Joe Mixon at this point. Joe Mixon is like, for the Astros, Yordan Alvarez. We don't know when Yordan was gone for the amount of time he was gone. We don't know when they'll be back, especially like Mixon. We don't know when he'll be back. All we hear is, oh, he's looking all right. He's close. But right now we're just sticking with Nick Chubb and our rookie Woody Marks, who I believe will one day take the starting position this season. But overall, yeah, that's the major news for today with the Texans, just CJ Gardner Johnson, because that kind of blew everybody out the water with what is happening. Wow, 3 games in, and we're like one of the teams that cut a starter. Yeah, he hasn't been playing to his starter level, but still, you paid enough for this guy when you traded for him just for you to cut him now. But it's on him, it's on y'all, so both parties get the blame, and it doesn't help that cap space will be affected in this year, heading into next year as well. But let's move on from that. I don't know what to think. It's just the way the Texans are, the state of the Texans this year. 3 games in, I wouldn't have thought that coming into the season. I was so confident with this season that I wouldn't have thought a cut like that would have been made. But let's move on to Sunday, September 28th at 12 p.m. here in Houston, Energy Stadium. We have the Tennessee Titans coming up against the Houston Texans. And I'm not going to lie, I don't know how to feel about this game. I feel as if I don't even want to pick a winner. I'll pick a winner whenever me and DJ do our Just a Rival podcast on Thursday on the JDW Sports Network channel. But I honestly I'm not even confident in picking us. Like, that's how sad it is. But let's get into the stats of Cam Ward for the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward coming in with 506 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Their offense is sort of like us. They look anemic. They can't move the ball worth a crap. CJ Stroud, on the other hand, 599 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. 2 of the interceptions were on him. The other interception, which was the game-ending play where Arianta Ursary had Josh Allen, I believe it was Josh Allen, he pushed him all the way to CJ, tipped the ball, intercepted, game over. So, as I said, 2 interceptions were on CJ for bad awareness, for thinking he can fit it where it couldn't have been fitted. But overall, just not good play. It's just sad to see that he has more interceptions than touchdowns. When we get to the run game, Tony Pollard coming in with 197 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Nick Chubb on the other hand, 141 yards, 1 touchdown. Both offenses, honestly, I feel, go more pass heavy when they should be running the ball more. Like, as I said, from the Jaguars game, we only ran the ball 15 times with our running backs, which is why. Like, we need to run more instead of passing when our pass game is struggling because of the offensive line. So I hope to see more Nick Chubb, because the Tennessee defense is all right, but it's not no defense to write home about compared to our defense. So getting into the stats wise, Texans defense is 16th, and Tennessee Titans rushing defense is 29th in the league. So, in us, main reason we're that far back from the rushing is because of our bad game against the Buccaneers against Bucky Irving and Rashad White. But we cleaned it up against the number 1 rushing offense against the Jaguars. We cleaned it up. We stopped them for under 100 yards, so that brought us up. Passing yard wise, we're 16th compared to Tennessee's 17th ranked passing defense, and even we're playing decent in the secondary, even without how we play. Even when we played the Jaguars, even without Stingley, because Stingley was dealing with the rib injury he was dealing with since the Rams game, with the first few plays where he got hit by, I believe, Henry when he was making the tackle against Devontae. And then when it comes to points allowed with the defenses of both teams, Tennessee's coming in 30th, allowing 31.3 points per game, compared to Texans fifth, which is great. Fifth in the league, allowing only 17 points per game. So when you hear Tennessee's defense coming in 30th in points allowed, this is where, as Nick Caley, because this game is the last straw with Nick Caley if he looks like dog crap, especially CJ too, and just overall everybody on that offensive line and the weapons that we have. When you have a team coming in 30th in the defensive points allowed, you need to come home, show your fans that we're sorry for how we've looked these past 3 games. We're going to show you who we really are. So you show them that, hey, we're going to beat the dog shit out of this team of the Titans, because they don't deserve to come into Houston and try to act like they think they're going to win, especially coming in with a rookie quarterback going against an elite defense from Will Anderson, Boldy Fadakowski, Sheldon Rankins, Daniil Hunter, linebackers. Linebacker-wise, I feel this is the week Christian Harris needs to be promoted. Henry needs to take a step back, because Henry's tackling has been very anemic, not doing great. He keeps wanting to arm tackle. I feel like Henry wants to go after the big hit instead of just making the regular 2-arm tackle. Meanwhile, Christian Harris, who we've been waiting for so long to be, have his name called once again alongside Aziz, because Aziz is an animal. Christian Harris, I feel he will get up to speed once he starts playing more plays on the defense. So I hope this is the game that D'Amico lets Christian Harris, dial in, play more. But once again, back in the offense, this is the game that CJ needs to go off. This is the game Nico needs, especially Nico. You don't need to be fumbling anymore. You need to turn into the Nico we've been wanting to see all season in just 3 games, which is sad to see, compared to the Nico from last year, who was literally, before he got hurt last year, he was leading the league in receiving yards. So that's what we want to see again. So that's what we hope to see again. Overall, with this game, this is 2 offenses who don't know who they are, even though one team has more talent than the other. One team has a franchise quarterback. The other team drafted their quarterback thinking that he's their franchise quarterback. So it's one of those things where it's like it's a mix and match. But the Texans being the team that need to show that they are this team, that they want to be the top tier level of this league. Yes, it's the Titans, but once you get a win, you have momentum. And once you have momentum, you feel better about yourself, that you can go into the next game and win a game instead of losing 3 games thinking that this next game you're going, especially the fans, losing 3 games thinking you're going to go into this game losing to the damn Titans, who are 0-3. This is sad knowing that we're facing the 0-3 Titans, seeing who can get their first win in the NFL season this year. While the Colts are over there 3-0, having a great time. Daniel Jones looking like he's going to win either comeback play of the year or even, hell, MVP. Jonathan Taylor leading the league in rushing. Not even the other team's running backs. It's the other team's rushing yards in general. Jonathan Taylor leads every team in rushing, which is so scary. And if we were to play the Colts this week instead of the Titans, we'd get our asses whooped. It's simple as that. But overall, I'm gonna just say I have us winning, but I can't pick a score prediction just yet because of how crap our offense has done, how crap our offense has looked, how our points have been from 9 points to 10 points. It's like, how much? When are we gonna have a game where we score enough to feel happy that this is the offense that we're gonna run? Now, this is what I've got to say. If this is another game where we score, I'm being dead ass. If we score less than 20, Nick Caley does not need to be the OC no more. Promote Gerard Johnson, the quarterback coach. Promote somebody else, or tell Nick Caley, go sit his ass in the booth upstairs, look down the field, because I've seen tweets of, say, college coaches, high school coaches saying that hey, when I sat in the booth upstairs, I did better with play calls because I saw what the field looked like, because it looked better up over, the crowd, instead of on the sideline trying to find a way to see where the defense is set up, the defense's scheme. Because when you're up in that booth, say like with the Bills, Joe Brady, he's up in that booth coming up with game-winning play calls. So why not test that out? But if you don't want to test it out, then okay, whatever. Just give up on the season then, because that's how you want to look, because you don't want to adjust to what you want to do. And with the offense, D'Amico was on the All Access Texas YouTube channel talking about the up-tempo offense with CJ loving the up-tempo, moving fast. And if he's talking about that, then that's what I want to see, because each week, D'Amico has done good on coaching. He has, especially when it comes to his offense. Week 1, Dameon Pierce looked like shit. He benched him. Healthy scratch. Dare Ogunbowale, he couldn't block at all. He looked terrible last week, and he's supposed to be a captain. He was a healthy scratch this week against the Jaguars. He didn't play an offensive snap. And why? Because D'Amico is seeing what's going on and what's going wrong with this offense, in which he's making the adjustments himself instead of giving the options to Nick Caley to be like, hey, what's wrong with the offense? He's not giving Nick Caley the chance to even answer back. He sees what's going on as a former linebacker, as a former defensive coordinator. He sees what's wrong. He's wanting to make his team better. And yeah, we may be 0-3, but I can tell D'Amico is somewhat feeling it now, that he wants to win, and which is obvious. But now that we're 0-3, this is the must-win game, and it's sad to say that it's against the 0-3 Titans. That's sad, knowing that this is our must-win, because after this game, as Texans fans, you know who we play next week, and we're not ready for that. You saw how their offense looked, and we're not ready for that. But we're not going to talk about that next team until next week. So overall, that's pretty much all I got. Going over the CJ Gardner Johnson news, the tennis, with his release. Overall, like I said, Nick Caserio, this is on you for your acquisition to trade for him, for the use of the first overall pick on Kenyon Green, just for it to turn into nothing. This is on CJ Gardner Johnson as well. Don't come into a team the way we are, with that swarm mentality, with that tight family mentality. Yeah, us as Texan fans may be tired of the good guy mentality and all that, but you can't come in here complaining the way other players have came in here to complain, acting like they're better than the rest of the players. So, all right, see you later. You don't deserve to be on this team if you want to complain about other players' contracts. Like, if you're looking at another player's contract, you don't even deserve to be in the NFL. You're just not, and that's being obvious. That's being honest as well. And now that I went over the Tennessee Titans and Houston Texans game, just going overall how I think about it, what I see going on. I'll say more once it gets to Thursday on the Just a Rival podcast, and y'all go check out JDW's channel, JDW Sports Network YouTube channel. I'll be on there Thursday. Thursday we should go live for Just a Rival, as we usually do, around 6:20. I will go into more depth with this game, because once we get to Thursday, it's closer to Sunday compared to today, Tuesday night. So, and I'm sure there'll be more news, especially tomorrow, because I know tomorrow D'Amico will have a press conference. I'm sure that they will be asking D'Amico about the release of CJ Gardner Johnson, and I will definitely make a video about it if there are some words that he says that are eye-opening, and I will keep y'all posted on that. And overall, once again, thank y'all for coming in to watch this video. I appreciate y'all so much over the last video, the first episode of this channel. I couldn't be more grateful. This is what I want to do. This is definitely a dream of mine, and I hope to grow this into something special, especially growing it for the brand of JDW. Jason, he's a great guy. I'm so glad, even though he's a Colts fan, I'm so glad he brought me on earlier this year on his channel. Me being a Texas fan, we have a great relationship. Him, my boy DJ be cool. He's a Colts fan as well. So it's crazy to think that Texas fan and Colts fans are tightly knit together on a YouTube channel together. But them guys, they're cool. So I definitely should say check out JDW's channel. He's the reason why I have my channel. He's my editor. He's the guy making my thumbnails. So I couldn't thank him more. I couldn't thank him so much more than I can. So Once again, guys, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all so much for watching. As I said, comment anything you want me to talk about. I'll talk about Texans NFL. I'm gonna come in tomorrow with my weekly picks. So, yeah, overall, this is Aaron. And if you know me on JDW's channel, aka Head of the Table, this is the HOU Bullcast. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.